Okay, so we've removed the wings, the legs, pulled the meat out. Now, as I mentioned before in this, the ribs were broken, so that just came right off. The spinal section, the back of the ribs, it all just came right out. We went ahead and disposed of that. Normally you will have a rib and spinal section here, and there will be ligament, tendon, stuff like that that you will have to maneuver through on the inside of the skeleton. Bearing in mind the herbs that we used for this, for the broth, you're going to find lots of green slime everywhere, a little bit of brown stuff. The brown stuff is actually a byproduct from the turkey itself. What we have here is we have what is essentially the sternum of the turkey. We have the rib sections here and down through here as well. Up in here, I'm actually plucking on it. This is a tip of the wishbone here, tip of the wishbone here. Now we ourselves, we have cartilage that separates our rib cages. That makes our rib cage flexible. This also has cartilage. The cartilage is right here and will run down the center of the sternum plate. The cartilage also holds two sections of the breast together. That's going to be our rough part, is removing that from the turkey. As if the broken ribs weren't going to be hard enough. Now what I want to do here, and the challenge on this is actually showing how I'm doing it. I am once again using the spoon. I'm reaching in with the spoon and I am teasing down the side. Coming here just a little bit more. Got a hard spot right here. Now if you remember, there was wings here. There's an additional leg that runs through here. That hard spot's part of the socket, is what we have found. Going to give that a little bit of a pry with the spoon. Reach down here so I don't lose the ground that I've gained. And another push. I'm going to do this all the way down through here. You'll see the breast start to separate on this side as I'm lifting with my finger and pushing through here. And we have successfully freed this side of the breast. Now rather than continue to toning on this and wing it around like a barbarian, which is what I would normally do, that's why when I'm left alone to carve a turkey, everybody just stands aside, they go to a separate room, and they let Mike do his barbaric deed of horribly maiming the holiday turkey. And now that both sides are freed, we gently lift. Gently, because we have a wishbone that I wish to keep intact, and we have cartilage that I don't wish to try and free up. Very gently. And as you can see here, it is free. There are pieces of the rib left over up here because the ribs were broken. That's actually a piece of meat, but I'm not going to keep that piece of meat. I'm just going to go ahead and toss it this side. Too much work. Too much work. Here we have the ribs, sternum. Got a little bit of meat left over here. I might try and save it if it wants to freely come off. Here we go. Sometimes it is a fight. Sometimes you lose. And this is the part that we were fighting right here. This giant piece. There's the cartilage I was speaking about is up in here. And I think I still have some cartilage left in here because it should be just a little bit bigger than this. It should be more. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to carefully remove this wishbone because I want to keep it in one piece if it's not already broken. It doesn't appear to be broken already. grab both sides. I'm going to pull up and back. Note how gently I removed it. That is one of the keys to removing that wishbone in one piece, is very gently. Lots of fat attached to this. Toss that aside, put the wishbone right here. And now we have our two breast segments, right and left. What you're going to do is you're going to go through, pick out a little bit of the excess fat, especially from this bird, because man, it had fat. I like fat, but not that much. You want to keep this stuff in here? Go ahead. I want to scrape that loose. This little piece of rubbery whatever. Pull that out. I'll have to do a little bit more cleaning on this. And due to the nature of Facebook and the pain it takes to upload these videos, I'm not going to waste much more time. I want to get right down to business here. Now we have these. We're going to remove them. I'm going to demonstrate how they are cut. Now this you can get away with just laying flat and going to it. Most breasts that I've encountered, they come in more, like so. You're just going to take this thing, pick it up like this, right on top of each other. That is a slimy bird. This is what you get. Remember on the bottom, if you usually mount it up, bottom back down, breast up. Breast's all nice and tan, bottom's all gooey slimy. Goes the other way around. If you don't like that, that's alright. You can do it the other way, or you can go ahead and turn the bird around after you're done cooking it and let the residual heat from the oven tan it. However, that's going to mess with the bottom a little bit. Pull some of that slime off because it's slippery. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to set it down. I'm not actually going to carve it for you. I'm going to explain how to carve it for you. I set it down right here like this. Now with it like this, if you are one of those fortunate souls to have an electric carving knife, you're in luck. If you're not, you should go out and get one or get a very sharp knife. Now you're going to hold it, these two pieces together, and cut. You should use a fork, a very flat fork. Stab into it, use that as your guide, and cut down lengthwise along the breast. You're going to get to about here. Then you're going to encounter this thing flopping around. Go ahead and stop, move over to this side. Once you've done that side, you're going to take these two sections left over and you're going to turn them around the other way. So then what you've carved out to begin with will be nice and flat. They'll join together, and then you can continue cutting the remainder of the turkey.